The chair now recognizes Mr. Tonko for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. While we testify, storyteller Alyssa now lives in my home state of New York. She shared her story and permission for me to share it today of having a medication abortion in Texas 6 years ago. In Texas, she felt the process to get an abortion hinged on luck. She was lucky that she lived in the same city as an abortion clinic, lucky to find an abortion fund to help her pay for it, lucky that she caught the pregnancy early enough, and lucky that she was able to take the necessary time off from work. Alyssa is grateful that she had an abortion every single day and shared that it was the most important decision she's ever made for herself. Unfortunately, due to the Supreme Court's Dobbs decision, many women won't be allowed to the right to make that decision or afforded the same understanding of constitutional liberty. So, Professor Lippman, we've used the word unprecedented quite a bit today. But as you've already confirmed, this is the first time the U.S. Supreme Court has overturned an individual's constitutional right in our nation's history. Can you help put this in context for us and just how unprecedented was the court's decision?
Thank you for that question. This is, again, one of the first time the court has taken away a right that is so fundamental to so many and the liberty and equality rights of over half of the country. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg said that the ability to realize a woman's full potential, the ability for a woman to enjoy equal citizenship in this country depends on her ability to control her reproductive life. There has been a suggestion, which is a gross misrepresentation, that Justice Ginsburg somehow would have supported the decision in Dobbs overruling Roe. It was Justice Ginsburg's dying wish that President Trump, the president who promised to appoint justices who would overrule Roe versus Wade, not be allowed to name her successor. It is a slap in the face that a decision that allows women to be treated as lesser citizens and as second-class citizens is being justified falsely by attempting to connect it to the woman who fought so hard for women's equal citizenship and control over their reproductive lives. The decision in Dobbs allows over half of the country to be treated as less than equal citizens, and it justifies that on the basis that they were not full and equal citizens back in 1868. It is taking us back to a place where we do not want to go.
Thank you. And following the court's decision, you're published in CNN referring to the Dobbs decision, and I quote, a capstone to the decades-long campaign led by the Republican Party to control the Supreme Court and to do away with the right to an abortion. What got us here, and how did this court become an instrument of what happens to be, in your opinion, Republican Party politics?
What got us here was a combination of a disregard for the rule of law as well as gaslighting, people denying that they actually did want to criminalize abortion and criminalize people who were seeking it. Not less than 5 years ago, during a Supreme Court confirmation hearing, one of your colleagues in the other chamber informed us that every time there was a judicial nomination, there were a bunch of hysterical women in pink pussy hats saying that the future of Roe versus Wade was potentially under threat. It turns out they were right. And we should listen to the people who are warning that the court's overruling of Roe versus Wade is just the beginning of the court's effort to take away rights that are so fundamental to so many. It is not just that Justice Thomas has called on judges and litigants to bring him cases that would allow the court to overrule Griswold, the decision protecting the right to contraception, or Obergefell, the decision protecting the right to marriage equality. It is also the fact that the Republican Party platform in 2016 promised to appoint justices who would overrule Roe versus Wade, as well as Obergefell versus Hodges. It is also the fact that the court, by overruling Roe versus Wade, has called into question the broader constitutional right to privacy, which is what protects the right to contraception, the right to marriage equality, the right to consensual same-sex sexual intimacy, and so many other rights that are fundamental to individuals' personal liberty and their ability to live their lives and fulfill their personal destiny.
Thank you. Not all states are moving to restrict abortion access. In fact, in as many as 16 states, governments have taken action to protect abortion providers and seekers from punitive laws outside their borders, and a handful of states have made funding and coverage available to those seeking care. So, Professor, where are we currently seeing efforts to protect and expand access?
Some states have taken measures, as you were saying, to provide public support to abortion providers who now face an influx of individuals coming from states that ban or restrict abortion. Other entities or institutions are trying to protect rights in other ways, but the Supreme Court's decision has created chaos that makes it difficult for institutions to protect those rights, which I'm happy to elaborate further, but I see I'm out of time.
Well, thank you for sharing your insights and expertise. And with that, Madam Chair, I yield back.
Chair now recognizes Dr. Ruiz for 5 minutes.